I'm Jim.
I'm Rhenda.
We're Heartiness Approach.
We are in Utah.
Today we're in Utah.
We have been having a good time with our grandchildren.
Yesterday we were in Utah, and the day before
we were in both of them.
Yeah, we kind of transitioned from Nevada to Utah.
So tomorrow we leave back to Colorado.
Back to Colorado.
For more of this. So we'll get it behind us someday. We would like to talk a little bit about organic.
Not that we are professional organic talkers.
No.
I don't know that there's a lot of people who are. A lot of people use the word in various ways.
And that's what we want to understand. So organic is the catchword.
Disclosure, we're going to explain what we mean when we say organic, and this is not necessarily what is meant by the USDA, not necessarily what is meant when you see it on package labeling, not necessarily what what is meant when somebody else uses the term on YouTube. This is what we mean.
Well, it also is some of the requirements for them to do.
Yes.
So let's start with fruit. If you have an organic fruit or vegetable and it has those annoying stickers on them, the stickers for organic have a 9 in front of it. So we went and grabbed a banana, which I don't have right now, and checked. And sure enough, there was a 9 on our organic banana. And they have to be grown in an area where they are
The soil has not had any pesticides or other caustic chemicals used, and there's a list that comes from the USDA about which chemicals are acceptable and unacceptable, but it has to be 3 years of not having used it on the soil, and then they can't use it on the plants, and the perimeter around them, if there's an overspray from fields that are nearby, they have to be a distance from that. And I don't know what the number is, but it's from what I've heard, it's okay, but it's not necessarily a guarantee that there won't be overspray.
Right. If you have pasture that you're going to have organic hay, organic grain,
grazing on,
it also has to have been 3 years without any of the pesticides or anything like that
to qualify as the USDA's organic standard.
Pastured chickens on organic grass or on grass like that is a great thing. Don't get it confused with free range chickens, and pastured, of all the things you can buy, is the best, but you also want to see organic, right?
And we haven't even explained why. We're just assuming everybody understands why organic is important. So she's going to turn that over to me.
No, you know what? I didn't buy everything organic until we were staying with Justin and Rebecca Rhodes. And I saw them doing it, and I was like, duh. Why is it so important? Oh, glycoside, pesticides, all of those things that we're getting into our body. And I want a clean body.
And there are some who feel that the presence is minor, that the threat is minor, and that it's not really a concern, it's a safe thing, that the government is doing things appropriately, allowing appropriate levels, and that it's not a problem.
That's why it's been outlawed in Europe.
Yeah. We don't have the studies necessarily, we've read about them, that show that there are increasing levels of these chemicals, and that those increasing levels are corresponding to a lot of disease issues that are happening in people.
They're finding levels in people's bodies.
Yes.
So,
if you had a choice, shall I eat something that has chemicals on it that I'm not sure whether or not they're going to make me sick, or do I want to eat something where I'm relatively confident that there are no chemicals that are going to make me sick on it? What's my choice? it seems pretty obvious. You know, why gamble? I mean, it's one thing to gamble with a little bit of money. It's another thing to gamble with your health and your life.
The third area that we're going to cover is boxes. Now, we don't try to buy processed food anyway, but we do want to be eating food, and sometimes you're just like, I need chips or I need such and such.
Well, sometimes you may be in a situation where you can't go buy the fresh produce, the fresh items, and what are you going to do? It's not on any of the shelves where you're able to go buy your food.
So on your box, the front of the box, because it's the catchphrase now, they're going to try to put organic in there. So some of them will be, in the example that was used was organic blue chips, the corn that was grown is organic. That's there, but it was cooked in canola oil.
When you read the label, you see what else is in there. So yes, some of the ingredients were organic.
Yeah. So you just have to watch out for everything. We, I think, live super strict compared to other people because of the way I was trained with Dr. Schwartzbein. We live and then with Weston Price, we live a really strict diet. So you can't go to the store, whether it's Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or Sprouts, and just grab something off the shelf and say that it's going to be okay. Because if you turn over most of those packages, they are still using canola oil, sunflower oil, and yes, the beloved safflower oil, which we still don't use. All of those are either made with GMO, chemically done improperly, or they are high in omega-6s. Many of the things will say cold expeller pressed or canola oil or safflower oil, and those are better because they're not processed the chemical way. But you still have to watch out for the high omega-6s, which, remember, you're supposed to have a ratio of about 1 omega-3 to 3 omega-6s, and we have about 40 omega-6s to 1 omega-3, which causes what in our body?
Inflammation.
Inflammation.
The infamous inflammation.
Yes. So those are some ideas. Don't read your labels. Read your labels. Read your labels. They're so important.
One thing that Rhenda didn't mention this time about the oils, and she says it so often that I think she figures everybody knows it by now, but one of the problems with the oils that are made with the improper processing is that they call it the smoke level, the temperature at
smoke
which
point.
Yeah, the smoke point, the temperature at which they start smoking, which means they're being radically changed by the heat. They're no longer the same substance they were, and this changing then damages them, and so that's what is going into the food when it's cooked.
Which does the free radicals in our body, allowing more inflammation.
So is it possible to cook with those and use those without getting to that point? Yeah, maybe, but you have to be very, very careful.
You also have to be careful with olive oil, with butter.
Yeah, with all of them.
I started really using a lot of ghee. I love ghee. I had put it off for years. I love it. Once I made it for myself, I love it. I love it.
So and you can knock me on the head if you don't agree with this, but it's safe to say the less you have to cook your food, most foods, some foods need to be cooked to be appropriate, but the less you have to cook them, the safer they are to eat.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
That's good. Also, two of the things I've learned in the class that I've taken is that use chicken broth, vegetable broth, or even water to saute your vegetables in instead of
an oil.
oils. And I've been doing that at where we've been staying, and it's been working marvelous. You just put all your seasonings in there and your herbs, and
now,
it works really well.
Are these the vegetable broths in the nice little packages that you buy off the store shelf?
Once in a while, I have to because
Yes.
I don't have all of mine with me right now, but I buy organic again.
Right.
So,
And there's one of the advantages of processing your own foods is that you're able to produce the broths, which is what we do. When we're finished with this chicken that we've stripped away everything from, and now we have the bones and a few things on it, in a pot it goes with a few others, and we end up with a great broth.
so I have to tell you, this last week when we went to Nevada, and those of you who are following us on Facebook on our Heartiness approach page saw our trip, and we went to Nevada and we unloaded our items, and we took our freezer and put it in the garage and plugged it in, and we had to take everything out of it from the truck so that we could bring it over. And then I got to organize everything in my freezer. So I put all of my pasture-raised chickens here, all of my pasture-raised pork here, all of my bacon that's going to be cooked here. I have my marinara sauce all made up from my tomatoes that are sitting over there, all my ground meat that we ground ourselves, and my broths. And I have lots of broth that's just laying in food saver bags. Yeah. So it was so exciting, and it came clear to the brim, and I closed it and sat something on top of it to make sure. We checked it the next day to make sure that was working okay, and then we drove away. So our food is there. It made it from Missouri to Nevada, and we're so excited to be able to get back. And you guys, we have such incredible plans for the garden there. It's going to be easier than what we were going to do in Missouri.
Yes.
And
It's not as big.
not as big, but it's going to be plenty big
Right,
for us.
right.
So
Plus, we've made some great contacts with local folks there who are doing gardening. They do have a food movement, and they're calling it a food movement.
they are.
It's not an overwhelming number of people, but there are several, and they have a wide variety of foods that are being produced, and they have a farmer's market. Now,
But
their growing season is a bit shorter than what we're used to, so it's a shorter farmer's market.
But they're really, really trying, and we're hoping to help video some of them and really help the movement to go and move this desert that we're moving to from
Both a real desert and a food desert.
take the desert and make it grow into food, and take the food desert and make it blossom. And they are doing a marvelous job. Our wave to Connie and Tim are our new friends.
Yep.
And
we're looking forward to meet the other folks who are growing there and participating in the farmers market.
so excited.
Excited to see it grow and to show what can be done. I mean, this is a place that it's hard to do. It's hard to grow. They have plenty of space, but water's a challenge. Growing season is a challenge. And as we work with them and as they continue to solve the problems, we'll be able to share that, which many will be able to benefit from what they gain there.
I just want to say how exciting it is to go to a brand new place and only know one relative, and suddenly you're invited into somebody's home and you get to tour their whole place and your friends.
Yep.
It was so wonderful. It was so wonderful.
Yep.
We have one more thing on this video that we're going to play, and we will...
Before we do your one more thing, can we do one more thing?
Ooh, what's one more thing?
Some of you may be aware, but there is an effort going on right now started by Holler Homestead to put together a Homestead Helpers group. And so, the details are at Holler Homestead. They are having people...
There's a Facebook that's called Homestead Helpers.
Okay,
You can go to.
so it's a group that Holler Homestead has called Homestead Helpers. And if you're interested in being a helper, and what this amounts to is within whatever area you're in, if there is a homesteader who has a large project or is in need of some help in some form or fashion, kind of like the old barn raising situation.
Like they did it for us.
Yes. Then those groups can get together and help out one another. And so that's what the effort is to put together little local groups that can be helpful to each other.
And so already we have a need. Connie and Tim are putting up a high tunnel hoop house, and it needs to be up in the next month or so. And so we need some help and people that are around there that could come and help. So if you can do that, say that in our comments and we can put together a date with them.
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Right now, all of the building materials are in the back of a flatbed truck. And for those of you who've put one together, you know that it's a huge job. Many hands make light work in this case.
We did it, I'll connect a video here when we did it before, went out and helped some people that we didn't know, and it was great. So join us, and like I said, you're never alone when you're a homesteader.
Well, what's wonderful, if you've not participated in these, you're not aware that when you get several people together who are like-minded, who want to grow their own food, who want to be helpful to neighbors who are like-minded, magic things happen when a group like that gets together. Yep. It's really a wonderful experience, and so we're encouraging it, and hopefully we can bring this together.
We also promise that we're going to do more videos rather than just sitting, but we're sitting in our son's house, and
we don't got a lot to work with.
We don't got a lot. We're going to end this video with a special video of a person that we met yesterday and took out to lunch, and it's kind of self-explanatory as it goes. And we're going to say goodbye now, because I don't think we said goodbye at the end of the video.
You know, we just let it happen, yeah. So.
And we will see you again when we get back to Colorado.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Okay.
Okay. Hi, I have a wonderful person here with me today. She's a new friend. Her name is Gabby, and I wrote a book 6 years ago, and I've been wanting to get it illustrated, and Gabby was one of my viewers, and she contacted me. She didn't know anything about the book. She offered me to paint me a picture, and I said, well, I have something else. So I'll let her talk for a moment.
So she sent me the manuscript for her book, Tawny is a Turtle, and I was able to draw these sketches, and we went over some things about the book. I don't know, a lot of different scenes.
She did an amazing job. We just met since we've been here in Utah, and we've been going back and forth on emails and stuff. And we met for lunch, and she went over all of her drawings, and we're so thrilled. It's gonna be amazing. Yep. So she has incredible insight.
And when is this book going to be ready?
It depends.
It depends.
Whenever I can get it done.
Is there anything about Christmas involved in this?
Well, we would love to have it out by Christmas. But
that's the plan.
That is the plan. But it is May 1st in 2 days, so we're not going to push her. But we're sure happy that we have her.
This is my first book I've illustrated, so this will be quite the project to take on, but
and she's got
I'm
all of them. We've got the pages done. We know what pictures are going to be on each page. And it's
I'm kind of excited for some of the scenery pictures, so
she's really good artist. Really good artist. And I will, maybe what I'll do is put on the one picture that you gave me.
So I did finish one picture and send it to her in color of possibly what the pages will look like. I might change some things as we go, but I'll have her put up the picture.
Yep, I'll do that.
I sent.
So anyway, we're very, very excited. This has been a project that has been a love of mine, and it has a purpose, and she's going to make it happen. So thanks.